Hello and welcome back to Mantra After Hours, the podcast for offline conversations on PR, business and influence. If you don't know me, I'm Praleen, the managing director and founder of Mantra Publicity. And if you haven't watched part 1, be sure to go watch that and come back for part 2. In part 1, we spoke about AI, the tools shaping PR and how technology is changing the way we work. But beyond the tech, there's a much bigger conversation happening in marketing right now, and that's adaptability. I'm joined again by Melissa Pardia as we dive deeper and shift gears from AI to adaptability. Welcome back, Melissa.
Thank you for having me.
It is very, very exciting to have you back again. And today we're talking about a topic that is almost a little bit controversial, but nonetheless very important to talk about and dive deeper into. Okay, so when I say adaptability, we're looking at roles that are expanding. Job descriptions are getting longer and more people are being asked to do more than just one thing. Sometimes a lot more. So what does this really mean? And what does it mean to be adaptable in marketing today as an employee, an entrepreneur, and business owner? So Melissa, let's talk about the reality of being multi-skilled in this industry. Marketing and PR roles today look very different to what they did even just 5 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
People are expected to write, strategize, pitch, analyze data, manage clients, create content, sometimes all in one role.
Yeah.
Do you think adaptability has become the most important skill in marketing today?
Absolutely. I think that it is such an underrated skill. And people are not thinking forward enough because they're so consumed with everything else. But it is crucial in this day and age. Yeah.
And from what you're seeing in the industry, are companies actively looking for multi-skilled people? And why do you think that is?
You know, it's an interesting question because I've seen a few job specs that ask for specialists. And then I've seen, but in those same job specs, what's not said is that they do expect you to do all these things. And they do expect you to, be a multi-skilled person. So what they're not telling you, like a PR textbook is not telling you a lot of things, is that you do need to be that multi-skilled individual.
Yeah. It makes you more of an asset to the company, especially in the current environment that we're at.
Absolutely.
I mean, back in the day, I remember starting in PR and I solely did PR. I hardly ever dabbled in social media and influencer marketing wasn't a thing when I started. So I didn't know. And when social media came in and it became something that businesses could use and wanted and had to be on, actually have a presence on all these pages, we were forced to work with social media teams, in some cases manage social media teams. And it was a skill that was developed over time and not a skill I even studied. I'd studied journalism. So this entire career has been a learning curve for me. So I think I wouldn't say forced, but I would say being adaptable and agile is very necessary.
Absolutely. Well, I studied PR and comms, and I can tell you for free, the things they're telling you in that curriculum, even up to today, it's outdated.
Yeah. The best experience is work experience.
Absolutely.
Especially in this industry. We chatted about it in Mantra After Hours, episode 1 and 2, where we spoke about how do you get a job in marketing and if you really do need a degree, and you actually don't.
No.
It isn't like being a lawyer or a doctor. It really is on the ground work and learning each and every single day, because every client teaches you something different. Totally. Every industry teaches you something different. I keep going back to our time at SAA. I think I have PTSD. And I don't think I have
the most fun.
We had the most fun.
I loved it.
Yeah, no. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, it was a very, very fun. But oh my God, Mel. Like if Melissa was not there as my manager when we were on that SAA account, when they were going through the most, I would probably have quit this entire industry.
Yeah, I had to hold you down. I was like, you're not leaving me.
And I would have never come back.
Yeah,
because I mean, crisis communication is one thing, but like managing your own mental health through it all.
When I tell you, we are the goose and Mav. Praleen decided to leave. She decided to leave. Do you know that scene where Mav is in like the ocean and he's holding Goose and just crying? That was me for 2 months. So I have PTSD from that.
I did. I left. I quit. I resigned. I was like, I'm done. Those trips to Kempton Park, and I live in the West, guys. The trips to Kempton Park at 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 4 p.m., So SAA is calling, there's a crisis, get in your car, drive to Kempton Park. Oh,
I still remember going, I'm the senior person, I will go. No, I'm not leaving you.
See, but now that was the conundrum. As much as I hated it, we were in it together. Never did we ever leave each other. No, we didn't. And I'm so grateful for those years.
And I'm grateful we haven't even up to today.
Yes. So, no, you see, the thing is, when you go through traumatizing episodes in your life, the relationships that you build through those trenches last you a lifetime.
Oh, for sure.
And that's exactly what has happened here.
Yeah, you've gone through it. You know, we flew those F-16s, bro.
Oh, totally. You know? Totally. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
It grew me as a person. Yeah. And I never want to go back. No. I never, ever want to revisit that.
I'd love to work for an airline again.
Oh, God bless. You see who is the stronger one of us two here. Okay, so coming back to the topic of multi-skilled people, do you think that companies are looking for multi-skilled people because it's a budget-driven economy we're living in, efficiency, or is it experience?
I think that it's a combination of the two. And I think that they are looking for multi-skilled people, but they're not telling you that. So as a professional, you need to make sure that you are able to do everything, service an account from end to end. And I think that will help you earn your stripes. And even if you don't want to stay in agency life, if you feel that you're called to a business, becoming a multi-skilled person will make you indispensable to even yourself.
Oh my God.
Yes.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
And I think that is so key and something that I think the generations after the millennials have lost.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
And it's sad.
Totally it is.
The workforce 5 to 10 years from now is a little bit scary to think of.
Yes.
Do you think this trend is here to stay? This multi-skilled
I think it is. I think it is because I do believe that you need to think at least 5 years ahead, and you need to be kept up to date with what's trending, who's winning, what marketing tactics are winning, and then if you do that, you'd be able to see exactly where you need to advance in your career path and where your gaps are, and you'd be able to discipline yourself and teach yourself or get the learning that you need in order to become that more multi-skilled, adaptable, flexible professional, because that is what the future is demanding right now.
And I mean, me and you are of the opinion that it's a good thing, right?
Absolutely,
you never stop learning. You constantly develop yourself. You agile, you adapt, you make yourself indispensable to yourself, like you said.
Yes.
But I mean, I've seen many conversations on LinkedIn and on these recruitment groups on Facebook where companies they're not necessarily in so many words saying we're looking for a multi-skilled person, but the job description is multi-skilled.
Yes.
And I don't know what generation it is, whether it's the Gen Zs or the millennials or whoever is commenting on it. I mean, we are living in Cyril's economy, so we've got to be mindful of expectation versus payment or compensation. But a lot of people are saying that it is wrong and it shouldn't be the case because it isn't fair. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the fairness of this expectation. Do you think it is fair?
I think it is more than fair. I think that if you look at a job spec or if you go to an interview and if you feel, oh my gosh, they're expecting the world and more from me, then you're doing yourself a disservice because grab that bull by the horns and see how it can work for you, Never, I think, in our parents' day, they were so loyal to one company and they stuck it out, get the certificate, get the watch, and you've made it. Whereas in today's day and age, that's not the case. A Gen Zer they don't like how you treat them. Cheers, they're off to Dubai. So, and I think everyone, no, really.
No, that's the reality, yeah.
But I think, the future professional wants flexibility in their own career. And in order to have that flexibility, you need to be a multi-skilled person that can function across the board. If you can do things quicker and if you can do things with excellence, you can have more free time. So, yeah.
And the future is entrepreneurial. It
Absolutely.
It is that. That is where we are going.
Yeah.
So, I mean, going back to my personal experience, I've worked in big and small agencies, and my time at small agencies was far more valuable and fun and creative, and it developed me and it grew me because at a small agency I did a million different things.
That's right.
Outside of my role. And we worked with a very small team. And I was able to learn everything and do everything. And I pushed myself into those roles willingly. And every day looked different.
Absolutely.
Whereas at a bigger agency, there was enough people to do, there was like videographers and content writers and. So I was just doing PR and I got very bored. I did get very bored and it didn't last very long. So from an experience point of view, I think that, and we also, again, mentioned it in episode 1 and 2 of this podcast, is that marketing isn't for everybody.
No.
And you've got to really have the right personality and the undying ambition and passion for what you do to really make it. While you don't need a degree, it will kill you and it will take you out if you're not made for this.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Totally.
So it's kind of like survival of the fittest here. And it is very competitive.
Yeah, it is.
And if you are not throwing yourself fully into every aspect of your work and learning every single day, you probably won't have a very long career in marketing.
No. You know, it's so interesting, that comparison between bigger agencies and smaller agencies. And what I can tell you is that I've also worked in both, but in a bigger agency where there's a broader team, you know, for me personally, I think you're the only person I've ever worked with that I gelled with. We shared the same opinion. We thought how we worked was exactly the same, and we saw eye to eye. In a bigger team, you're going to meet personalities that have their own stuff going on, okay? And you'll often hear this. It's not personal, but sometimes it is, you know? And people will have a difference of opinion just to get you off track or just to derail things. And I think that if you're not multi-skilled and if you're not strong enough, you're going to let them there's this phrase that I don't like to use, but it's like the tail wags the dog kind of vibe. You're going to let that happen to you if you don't adapt and if you don't grow your skill set. A difference in opinion and how people differ with you will get you to such a point where you actually succumb to a system. Yeah. And you cannot afford to let that happen in 2026 and beyond.
Yeah. Yeah, no. It really is about carving your place in this industry. And it takes wit and it takes real power and it takes commitment and resilience and thick skin. Exactly. Because it's not easy. Even in the workplace, like you said, it's difficult.
Yeah.
And now where I am now in the agency owner spectrum, it is very competitive and it is tough to stand out, and you've got to be at it every single day, and you've got to constantly pivot and constantly showcase yourself as ahead of the game.
That's right.
So, okay. So on that, I mean, we've spoken about all of this great stuff about being multi-skilled and making the best version of yourself, but where should companies draw the line when it comes to looking for multi-skilled people?
Sure. You know, I think where they should draw the line is that if they find one person who's able to be that multi-skilled person, that person becomes like the pack horse, you know. And if they're not careful, they will face burnout and it will, stunt their career and stunt their growth. So I think that companies what they need to get right is they need to start actively communicating that they are looking for multi-skilled people, not having it run as this undercurrent that nobody really talks about in a job spec, so that when the person does start working, it's this expectation, but it's never clearly outlined. I think they need to be clear in their expectations. And I also think they need to be fair with their staff and tell them, keep them abreast of what's going on and help them grow as people. I mean, that's very important to me. Growing people as they come in, don't use them like pack horses and then discard them when they no longer serve you. You're doing them and yourself a disservice. So I think they need to be clear and they need to be kinder. We're in an age where kindness is completely chopped off, It's not okay.
Yeah. And I think if companies start doing that, they'll find the right people.
Totally.
Because you're entering a job that the expectation of you, you know what you're going to be doing, and it's up to you to say yes or no on something that you think you're cut out for, or being honest with yourself saying, I'm actually not cut out for this.
That's right. And sorry, P, but that will also help the employee remain more loyal to that company. Yeah. Because you see them as a person.
Yeah. And how do you position yourself as a versatile and specialized person? How do you do it?
How do I do it? I think for me, it's taking that extra time to learn about what it is that I'm saying, to understand my clients a little bit better, to get into their heads, to understand exactly what their expected outputs are. But also, like reading between the lines. Okay, this person likes me to deliver XYZ in a certain time frame. I'm going to outdo that and show them that I am more reliable. So it's taking that time to learn about the industry. As PR people, we all have a joke in industry, and that is like, a specialized career like an attorney or a doctor or whatever the case may be, you study and you do exactly that, right? When you're in PR, you get clients from airlines to the public sector to beauty to fashion to the corporate world, and you need to know, and even tech, which is a beast on its own, and you've got to have an understanding of how each of those sectors works. So it's taking that time to research the industry that you're working in and to really know what you're talking about. And I think that helps you, because when you are in that frame of mind, you can then streamline processes and fast track tasks. And that will help you become a multi-skilled person.
100%.
Yes.
And it is, I think, just in what you said in a nutshell, kind of defines PR people.
Yeah.
And I think these days, and it irritates me heavily, that PR is now being diminished to influencer marketing.
Totally.
And it is not that. Influencer marketing is a new generation, modern marketing element that we've all been forced to adapt because it is such a important part of PR now. But it is just that very small part of PR. It just shows how much it really takes to cope and become specialized in PR, because we're consistently researching.
Totally.
We're always adapting ourselves. I mean, from working in tech to working with airlines to working in arts and beauty, we've got to wear several different masks. We've got to force ourselves to understand those industries in order to work in those industries. So it just shows that the brain capacity of us is like flipping huge.
You know,
like with the stuff that we've got to like learn and constantly do, you cannot be lazy.
No.
And sometimes you're working at an agency and you're working across all those clients. So in a day, you're working in tech, you're working in finance, you're working in maybe automotive, and you may be working in beauty because you have 4 different clients.
100%. And P, I'm actually, this just sparked now, but I'm not sure if you've seen this in your business, but from our own personal contacts that I've spoken to recently, Africa is booming as a continent. And I think there's a lot of businesses that want to get a stake across the broader SADC region, for example. And I think, in South Africa, we often joke about this, like apartheid finished when in 93 or 94, but people still have not adapted and started learning how they use this fellow South African actually thinks, acts, sees, and does. And I think that if you are, of a different racial grouping, don't be pigeonholed to that, because that's also going to limit you and hold you back. You need to understand how Africans think.
100%.
And you need to have a passion for the continent that you're on, because that will actually help you become even more multi-skilled and excellent in your work. We need to understand the continent, we need to understand the country, and learn the languages.
And don't limit yourself. I mean, Amapiano, for instance, started off on the African continent, and it was initially like a black thing, right? Because of the beats and the music and house music. But I mean, every race across the world
totally
has embraced this music. And I sometimes I feel like the overseas people, like the Europeans and the Americans, have taken on Amapiano music way more than Africans ourselves. And on your point, we need to be doing better. We need to be doing a lot more, and we need to be submerging ourselves a lot more in what South Africa is.
That's right.
And what Africa is.
That's right.
And that will give us the edge to sell us to the world.
And I think PR people are placed in such a unique position where they're able to break down stereotypes through content outputs. So we are in a place of power.
100%.
Because we control the messages.
Yes. Africa is so unique. That's why I keep saying, I mean, I don't think I'd ever leave.
No
matter the opportunity, I don't think I could ever leave my country. Never in a million years.
Never, ever.
Okay. Do you think the future belongs to specialists, generalists, or hybrid professionals?
That is such a tricky question, because we're talking about multi-skilled people. But if I'm being completely honest, it is a hybrid person.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's play open cards and call it what it is. It's hybrid.
Is there a pressure to be everything in marketing right now?
Yes. Yes, there is.
Is it a good pressure?
I think it's good if you are ahead of the curve and if you are not scared of where the industries are moving. I think that then it's a good thing. But if you're too scared to embrace change, then you're going to get left behind. Yeah.
And how do you think people should future-proof their careers?
Specifically in PR or specifically in PR?
Let's talk PR and marketing, but if you want to generalize and take it outside, you can as well.
Yeah. I think first and foremost, you need to become a better human. You know, really you do. Yeah. We need to bring back the good things of old, like kindness and respect. And that already sets you in a better space. And you need to not be afraid of technology, and you need to start using it to your advantage before it takes you over. And that will help you.
That is such an important point, because I think, like you've mentioned earlier as well, kindness has completely
disappeared
out of the world.
Disappeared.
Just by the way people drive.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, absolutely.
It's absolutely crazy. And I think if we just have more empathy for people, and understand that everybody that we come in contact with in our daily lives woke up somewhere and something happened in their life that morning or that evening or the night before or last week that they're dealing with.
Totally.
And the way that you're seeing them isn't necessarily who they might be.
Yes.
And just giving a little bit of forgiveness and understanding to everybody, because, I mean, yes, Africa is booming and it is great, but it is currently quite hard for a lot of people to live in South Africa and make ends meet. And I think we're all trying to do our best. And I think just being kind goes a long way. We do have a client called Being Kind, and the messaging is exactly the same.
Wow.
That's what I think it's so powerful.
Yes.
And a much bigger conversation here to have.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else that you would like to add onto this multi-skilled conversation that you think we haven't touched on?
Sure. I think most importantly is, try to read between the lines and see where the market's going and try your best to adapt accordingly so that you don't get left behind and that you always remain ahead of that curve.
Okay. I'm going to end with a few rapid fire questions for you.
Okay.
So the first thing that comes to mind is what you're going to tell me. And we're going to start off with one skill every marketer should be developing right now.
AI as a friend.
One thing people should stop fearing about AI.
It's not here to take your job. Unless you let it. Sorry.
Unless you let it. One career lesson you wish you learned earlier.
Oh my gosh. I think the one career lesson I wish I learned earlier is even though some things can be personal, don't let it get to you.
Oh, that is such a valuable thing to leave.
Because you'll hear it in business all the time. Oh, it's just business. It's not personal. You know it's personal.
It's always personal. We're not robots. We are human beings.
Thank you.
And we do have feelings. Yeah. I think everything we do is emotion-based.
Yeah, but like Rocky Balboa, you got to get up off that floor and punch the living daylights out your opponent.
Yes. Now you see why I am and who I am, because my manager was this. Okay, well, Melissa, this has been such a refreshing and honest conversation. I never stop learning from you, if I'm honest. Thank you for sharing your insights and your experience with us. Before we close again, where can people find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm Melissa Pardia. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm melissa.pardia. And looking forward to hanging out with you on that digital space.
Yeah, boy, yes. Thank you, everybody, for listening to Mantra After Hours episode 4. We will be back in 2 weeks' time with a brand new episode. If this episode resonated with you, share it, save it, and send it to someone navigating their career in marketing or PR right now. And I will see you in the next episode, After Hours. Bye.
Bye.